morning, colleagues. I'm going to give you 3 reasons why I want you to support this application today. Firstly, we don't have enough high-quality function rooms in Gateshead. Secondly, the plan complements the Council's rural economic strategy. And thirdly, we currently have inadequate infrastructure for the growing number of visitors that we've got in the Derwent Valley. Now, Gateshead has major attractions such as the Sage, Baltic and Gateshead, which is in the Derwent Valley. But we need smaller scale facilities as part of our visitor economy, such as small hotels, restaurants, and as in this case, function room facilities. County Durham, Newcastle and Northumberland have many high quality function room facilities similar to what is proposed here. This proposal will help address that shortage in Gateshead. It will generate 15 jobs and more business rates for Gateshead. Now, the Woodmans is in the greenbelt, but the greenbelt was never established to pickle what is there. Businesses in the greenbelt should be able to grow within the confines of the planning system. As a business that has won national awards, including one very recently, the Woodmans are putting Gateshead on the visitor map. And finally, the Land of Open Iron is a unique project, and it covers that area in the Derwent Valley. Infrastructure is urgently needed if the Open Iron project is going to give our area a long-term boost in terms of tourism. To ensure increasing visitor numbers are catered for, we need small businesses to step up to the plate and invest in the visitor economy. Most of the Land of Open Iron project area is in greenbelt. If Open Iron is to be a success, some limited development is needed in the greenbelt. Without that investment and careful development, the visitor economy in the Derwent Valley will not cope with the visitor numbers, which could well fall away in future years. Open Iron is only one of 3 heritage lottery-funded landscape schemes. It conserves both the natural and industrial landscape of the area. Now, this application has the backing of Mick Wilkes, who is the Director of National Trust Gateshead, who phoned me yesterday and asked me to put his views to the committee today. And he shares my belief that additional facilities are needed in the Derwent Valley and the Land of Open Iron area to have if the area is to have a sustainable visitor economy into the future. Now, Fellside Road is not without recent greenbelt development. East Barnmore Guest House was given permission a few years ago to build a storage shed which helped the business expand. Bird Hill House across the road has recently undergone a major rebuild. Whickham Golf Club is now enjoying new facilities that were opened by the Mayor just a couple of years ago. Now, the Woodmans application is a modest extension on the existing building which does not affect the openness of the greenbelt or in any way harm it. So this application gives Gateshead an opportunity to compete with neighbouring areas. It complements the Council's rural economic strategy and contributes towards the growing visitor economy in the Derwent Valley. We need infrastructure in place to ensure the project's long-term success. And that is the exceptional circumstance why the greenbelt restrictions need to be relaxed in this instance and this application approved.
Thank you. Any questions? Yeah. Councillor Wallace, you say that it's a modest extension, yet we're looking at 278 square metres on an existing property of 900 square metres. So by my reckoning, that's almost a third.
Yeah, it's a bit modest. Well, it depends on your definition of modest, but in this instance, it's a 28% increase in the area of the building. Most planning applications that sort of saw, you see an extension of a quarter of the property would be regarded, I think, by most people as being modest.
So you would say 25% is modest?
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes?
Thank you, Chair. Councillor Wallace, paragraphs 5.16 and 5.17 make direct reference to your comments about the leisure industry and visitors to the area. Could you enlarge on what the Director of the National Trust has said, because I think their interest is quite significant.
It's the Director of National Trust Gateshead.
Gateshead,
it's
yeah.
Mick Wilkes, who's the Director who runs the the site, which is the biggest visitor attraction within the Derwent Valley area. His view is that there is a growing visitor economy, but there comes a point where the infrastructure that supports that cannot cope with any further visitor numbers. And if we were to reach that point, we wouldn't be able to bring more visitors to the area. So, in effect, the visitor economy would stall. And Mick's view, and I share it, is that you need some small-scale visitor attractions or visitor facilities that support and can cater for the visitors to the area. Now, I can't remember the exact figures, but Gateshead has I think it's about 500,000 visitors a year. We want more visitors to the area, but we need reasons for them to stay. We need reasons for them to spend money in the local economy. And that's what Mick is all about, because he recognises that even as it is now, we need some further infrastructure developments in the near future. And he therefore has a sort of like mind with the Woodmans about the need to actually provide those facilities. Now, nobody's looking to have the greenbelt lost, because one of the big draws to get people to the area is the fact that it's greenbelt, it's open, beautiful countryside, and there's natural reasons, natural fauna, as well as industrial heritage reasons for people to come and visit. So, if you're not providing for people when they come to visit, the visitor numbers will fall away, and we will lose potential growth in the tourism industry in the Derwent Valley area, and frankly, in the whole of the Gateshead area, because we want people to be visiting other attractions in Gateshead as well, not just to the Derwent Valley. And we need small businesses to step up to the plate to be able to provide the infrastructure for that. And the Woodmans are proposing to do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chair. I'm just a bit confused about what Jonathan was saying about the intention behind this extension, because my understanding about the need to cater for visitors in the Derwent Valley is that we actually need residential accommodation, we need hotel accommodation, we don't necessarily need a function suite, we need hotel accommodation. So I think we've got mixed views here about what this facility would actually be about. Because if we're talking about catering for people coming into the area, actually there are lots of small businesses already. There are lots of businesses in Rowlands Gale that cater for visitors, that pick up the overspill from Gateshead. What we actually need as part of our rural development strategy and our rural tourism strategy is residential accommodation for people. We don't necessarily need another function room. So I'm just a little confused about what it is you're saying is the intention behind all of this, Jonathan.
Okay, let me explain. As I said in my presentation, there's a number of, we need to build up the infrastructure, the visitor infrastructure, and I said in that, small hotels, restaurants, meeting facilities and so on. So, yes, we do need more small hotels in the area, but we also need other tourism outlets as well. So that's what is being addressed here. We need good quality function room facilities of the likes that we've got at South Causey and Beamish Hall, both of which are outside of Gateshead. So the business rates for those are going outside of Gateshead, so we're losing the income. The jobs for those are going outside of Gateshead as well, but there is a demand for this sort of facility, and we need to provide that. And a function room facility of the sort that is being proposed at the Woodmans is about, most of it will be wedding receptions, but there'll be other receptions as well. But you think of how many people come to a wedding, they come from all over the country, and we want them to be staying in the area, using the facilities, but we have at the moment inadequate infrastructure to support those. So this is about building up a strategy to help further the tourism economy in Gateshead, but particularly in the Derwent Valley, where the Heritage Archery Fund is pumping a huge amount of money to bring visitors here. And what we've got to do is make sure that they stay here and we've got the support for the visitors in the first place.
Any further questions, Mr. Speaker?
Councillor Wallace has mentioned about the importance of the greenbelt. Excuse me, and again, is that the development can be considered under very special circumstances. So, do you appreciate in terms of the position that the members of the committee are in terms that we'll have to look at very special circumstances in terms of protecting the greenbelt, which obviously you highlight is important for our particular area?
Yeah, I do appreciate that, and as many of you know, I have long fought to protect the greenbelt from what I regard as inappropriate development. But there are times when you actually have proposals for greenbelt development which are actually quite appropriate, and businesses need to grow and move forward with the times as well, so we can't pickle them. And this is a business that actually relies on the protection of the greenbelt, because if the greenbelt is lost from that area and the whole area becomes developed, then nobody's going to want to go and visit the pub and its facilities anyway. So we're not looking in this instance to have the greenbelt wiped out. We're looking for a small adaptation to an existing building, an extension to an existing building, which will actually enhance the greenbelt in the sense that people will be coming to, more people will be coming to the area to enjoy the greenbelt. So yes, I understand the predicament that you were in, but I believe that there's a way through this, which is to regard the exceptional circumstance of this facility urgently being needed as part of a growing tourist economy.
Yeah, good.
Question, Mr. Speaker?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, go on.
Councillor Wallace, you said something about not having any wedding venues in Gateshead. Well, I've been to 3 weddings in the last 2 years, one at Islington Villas, one at the Hilton, and one at Saltwood Park. And we've also got a wedding venue downstairs, which can be used for weddings. I'm just thinking that how would be a justification for another one when we've already got all of these things in consideration that we're looking at changing the greenbelt?
Well, I didn't say that we had no wedding facilities in Gateshead. I said we have a shortage of them, and Gateshead is losing out to the competition to places like South Causey and Beamish Hall. So I didn't say that we had that there are no facilities in Gateshead. But what we need to do is actually build up the number of high quality facilities that we have, and that is where we have a shortage. And even in some of the areas which may be described as maybe a bit more down market, some of those facilities have been lost. You know, if you look at somewhere like the Swarwell and Whickham social clubs, which have had big facilities, those clubs are no longer there. So we have lost some facilities within the Gateshead area, which need to be replaced. But we also need to get into the market of aiming for the high quality end as well, which is what this application does.
Yes, thank you, Councillor. What I was going to ask was, I mean, obviously one of the reasons behind this is not just the extension to have the weddings, it's to continue to have a sustainable, award-winning business in the area. So presumably the visitors, say to Gateshead or somewhere, will just go up the road and have a nice lunch, because whilst you can go to Roland's Gill, there aren't that many facilities in Roland's Gill where you can go and have a nice lunch. And if you go in the National Trust, you won't get a nice lunch. Whereas if you go a mile and a half up the road. So what I'm saying is, yeah, it is important that we have a sustainable business.
Yeah, well,
that was a question.
Yeah, absolutely. We all know that pubs have been under tremendous pressure over the past few decades. I think it's that they're closing at the rate of 1 or 2 a week. They have to have a reason for bringing visitors to them. And we as an authority, I think we're duty bound to ease the process of actually helping businesses to survive and prosper. And this is one of the ways that we can do that. So it is about a sustainable future for that business, but it's also about a sustainable future for the tourism economy within the Gateshead area as a whole.
It's not a question as such, Chair, but it's a point of information for Councillor McCleary. I and the family had a very nice lunch at the cafe at Gateshead just a few weeks ago, and I would highly recommend you try it.
Okay.
Perhaps you could pass that on to the director of the National. My compliments.
Happy for that, Jonathan?
Thank you, I shall go and have lunch at the National Trust.